All right, and what I'd like to start doing today is talking about Zentangles, and that's going to be our next project that we work on. It's a Zentangle landscape that is like something similar to this, or I have one that's a little bit bigger than this that I had created that I'll talk about a little bit later. But what's important is to start learning how to create patterns. So that's what I want to focus on today. And really, your entire sketchbook is covered in Zentangle pattern, and you'll get to understand that in just a minute. What I want you to do now is open up your sketchbook, and this time we're going to go to the section that says practice, because the rest of the sketchbook has blank paper, and that's for us to practice different things. And so you should still have one piece of cardstock, and I would take that and just place it behind this first sheet so that when you're writing with your pen, if it bleeds through to the back, that's okay, but you don't want it going onto the page behind. So we're going to use this piece of cardstock to keep that from happening. So just slide that back here. And what I would like for you to do to start is to we're going to make 6 rectangles to fit on this page. And again, they don't have to be perfect, but I do want you to make them as large as you can so that you have some room to practice. So that should look something like this. Here's one. Okay. There's no need for a ruler. You know, I'm out a little bit right there. That's okay. Again, this is practice. This is part of our sketchbook where we can make mistakes. We're learning. Okay, there's 2. So to the best of your ability, try to fill this up, leaving a little bit of space in between your rectangles. Now in each one of these, we're going to be making a pattern. And I'm going to walk you through 1 or 2, and I want you to follow along with me. And then the rest, you're going to make up or pick one that you like. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So with this first one, I want you to follow along. What we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing 2 parallel lines. Start on the edge, go all the way across, stop on that edge, and we're going to draw another one. So you have 2 parallel lines, okay? Now we're going to do another set of parallel lines, but this time what I'm going to do, when I start over here, I'm going to draw until I hit that first line. I'm going to stop, pick it up, come over here to this side, and then continue that line all the way across. Same thing with this guy. Stop, pick it up, and then place it down and go across. So what it looks like is you've got one, it kind of looks like a ribbon maybe, one ribbon going across here and another one going up underneath that one, okay? The next one I'm going to do, just to fill in this space over here on this side, I'm just going to draw 2 parallel lines. Okay. Then let's see, I'm going to have another one coming across this way. Watch, I'm going to go across to hit that line, stop, pick it up, put it back down, stop. See how I'm not crossing through the parallel lines that I've already drawn. Going to do it again, because every time you do one, you're going to do 2 together every time. Stop there, stop there. Okay, so now this one looks like it goes underneath both of those, and we're just going to continue that for a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to draw another one coming across this way, stop, go across this way, stop, and this way. And that's off a little bit. That one doesn't quite line up, but that's okay, because like I said, this is practice. This is our practice. We always want to practice something before we go to the big project to work, because that's the one that you're really being graded on. Right now, I just want to make sure you're getting that practice in. Oh, stop. Oh, and this is getting a little tricky, just that little bit right there. And you'll see some of these ribbons that go behind, like right there, I'm not even going to draw that because I can't really even see that little bit right there. Let's see, let's do a couple more, maybe one. I want to have one that kind of starts in this space and ends in that space. So the further we go, the more tricky it is. Maybe a little bit right there, pick it up, a little bit right there. If it goes through, I'm not going to see it again until here, and then here. Now that one's kind of tricky, but remember we're going to come back and do it again with the second one. I'm going to skip over all of that, pick it up here, skip over all of that, and pick it up here. Okay, let's see. Let's do one. There's this big open space here, so I want to fill that in. Okay, so let's see. Start here, stop, stop. Okay, and then one more, because we've got to have two every single time. Okay, there is a lot going on right there. Okay, so I'm going to add maybe one more across here to kind of help balance it out a little bit, because there's a lot of crossover right there and not so much on the other side. So let's see, maybe I'll have one cut across here to divide this space up. So remember, as soon as you hit those lines, stop, 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 and then I'm not even going to draw that, and then I'll have one more, stop. Okay, just to kind of fill that out. Okay. So then let's see, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a little bit of time and use my pen to fill in all of the background spaces. That way it'll be clearer what's going on. It'll clean up the edges a little bit and be clearer as to what we're looking at. Okay, so that's an example of one kind of Zentangle. What's hard to understand is when do you stop, because it seems like there's always something else you could add. Creating a Zentangle is just repeating a pattern over and over and over. Where here we started with the two parallel lines, and every time we added a new one, you know, it would go underneath the one before, and the next one would go under those. And so it was just something that, you know, we could have continued that even more if we wanted. I could decide, well, maybe I want a little bit of shading. Maybe I want it to really look like it's going further under. So I could come back in, and right where this one is going underneath this one across, I could come back in and draw maybe some little lines right there that kind of make it look like it's a shadow. Okay, and then I have this one. I could come back and put little lines there to give it some further shading. You know, and this one down here is underneath that. Wherever I see one of these ribbons, I'll call them, going underneath, I'm adding these little, you call them hatch lines, the lines that are next to each other, like this, to show shading, is known as hatching. So we're just practicing creating patterns. Where else? Here's some back in here. Wherever you see one going underneath another one, wow, and even that one. It's always good to practice these things in your sketchbook before you apply them to the real project, just to see what it's going to look like. You know, maybe you do something and you decide you don't like it. That's okay. You know, that's why you practice in here. Oh, I missed one over here. Let's see, did I get them all? I think I did. I think I did. So that gives it even a little bit more depth. It looks like some of these ribbons have some shading on it. Let's do one more. Let's see. This time we're going to do something that looks very similar to this. You might look at it and be like, wow, that's a lot. I don't know if I can do that. When you break it down and just do one thing at a time, it really is very easy. And that's why it's so important to put these little details in your artwork, because in the end, the more detail you have, the better it looks. But again, you start at the beginning. Start out really simple and just keep working on it. Before you know, you have a really good piece of art. So this time we're going to start out just by making a zigzag. So I'm going to start here, watch, going horizontal and then vertical, horizontal and vertical. Okay, now this time I'm going to do that same thing, but a little bit below it. I'm just going to follow it, doing the same thing. So we got 2 zigzags right there. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to draw some diagonal lines. Right now we have horizontal and vertical. I'm going to draw some diagonal lines. Okay. So right here where I have this corner, I'm going to draw a diagonal line here. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the point that goes in. And watch, I'm stopping right above it so that when I connect these two, I've got a vertical line. See how that worked out? Okay. Then with this next one that comes out, I'm going to stay parallel to these. These are parallel lines. I'm going to try to stay parallel, but watch, this time I'm going to stop where this would become a horizontal line. See how that connects there? Okay, then I'm going to have a vertical line here and a horizontal line here. Now this, we ran out of space, which is fine. But what we're going to do here is connect this point to this point. Here and here. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to go horizontal. And this one's going to go vertical. All of these lines are parallel lines. So if this is where this line stopped, I need to make sure I have another parallel line here and a parallel line down here. Okay, and we just keep repeating and repeating. So this time we're going to go vertical up here. This time we're going to go horizontal. Okay, then we need our vertical, or our diagonals that are parallel. There and there. Then we're going to go horizontal. And we're going to go vertical down here. Oh, and these need to be, all of these need to be parallel. 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 Okay. Then we're going to go vertical and we're going to run out of space. And we're going to go horizontal and we're going to run out of space. That's it, okay? Then what we're going to do is draw, just like we did here, another zigzag. I'm just going to follow that around, trying my best to stay the same width around here. Okay. Then we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. So this time I'm going to start at the bottom and just work my way up. When I started in the middle and worked my way out this way. This time we're just going to move straight up. So here, and all of these lines I'm about to draw should be going in the same direction as these diagonals. So if I start here, it's going to go there, there, there. I'm trying to decide how far out I want these to go. I'm thinking maybe about right, that's as far out as I want. I'm trying to see, it's about the same length. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm going to start the process of my verticals and horizontals here. So that's my vertical, then I go horizontal. You can see how this is horizontal and that's horizontal. I'm going to connect those two. This time I go vertical. I'm going to connect this point to that point. Okay, this time I'm going to go horizontal. I'm going to connect these points. Okay, this time I'm going to go vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. Okay, see how I'm just repeating over and over. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing here where I have a little bit of space in between them. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing I just did. This time I think I'm just going to let them all go to the edge. Okay, so we've got our overall pattern going on. Oh, I should probably go ahead and finish this up here too. Okay. Okay, now that we have the overall layout of our design, now we can take a moment and figure out what it is that we want to fill in. And so I think what I would like to do is fill in these areas, these shapes that have the vertical line, not the ones with the horizontal line like this one. We're talking vertical. I'm just going to go ahead and fill those in solidly with my pen. Okay, and now one final thing, and then I think we'll be done with this little Zentangle. I'm going to make horizontal lines cutting back across this way with the shapes that I left white. I'm going to leave the zigzag in between totally white, but this shape, I'm going to follow this horizontal line and make a bunch of parallel horizontal lines to fill in these shapes. Okay, so now that I've walked you through these two, I want you to fill in the other 4 with whatever kind of patterns you're interested in. You'll see that I have posted in this assignment a lot of examples of Zentangles that kind of walk you through some steps, and there's some other sheets in there that just show you the overall design to kind of give you an idea, but want you to experiment with these 4. Take a picture of it, post it in our Google Classroom.